Okay, this is just a quick look and overview of the interface for changing settings and setting up your smart home system by Devolo. I've reviewed it as a separate video, so I'll include a link in this to that as well. So if you want to see what it is and a bit about it, you can check out my review. But this is just for people that have seen that, mainly to have a look at the interface, or even if you haven't seen my review but you know about the product, you just want to see the setup side, the website. Now there is an app as well, but this is a website here. And to access this, you would go after you've set it up, follow the instructions included with your device. You then go to mydevlio.com. Don't worry about this, it's just what it's added itself. My, all one word, mydevlio.com. You'll then be prompted with a login box where you can log into your Devolo account or create an account. Then once you do that, you'll get this page here, and it will start off by telling you the very first time you log in some useful things about the interface. So as you can see, it's telling you this button up here means change settings. This one here is telling you that this means open home control overview, which is mostly what you'll want. And further services by them, such as their online shop, their support, their main homepage, their newsletter. And you can tick this here to not show this help again. And let's do that because we don't want to see that again. We can go to settings, customize overview, and we can actually add and get rid of things here from this main interface. So say we never want these, which I just leave them there, but say we didn't want that, we could delete it. And if we wanted live cam, which is a webcam product of theirs, we can add it, but I don't have that, so I'm not going to add it. You can also change your profile information, such as your email and username, things like that from here. And you can change your password there or log out. Now let's hit cancel and hit home control. You'll get the option for a demo, just to basically to demo this interface, even if you haven't set things up. Let's not worry about that. You'd hit plus to set up a new one. Okay, but we're not going to set up a new one because you just follow the instructions, and this isn't really a tutorial. This is more just to show you how the thing works in case you plan on buying it, so you know if it has the options you want, what it looks like, how easy it is to control, things like that. So you have a demo house. Let's go across to the one we've actually set up. Its location just named home. You'll see loading. You'll then get some widgets on the main screen here, such as weather, which you'll be able to get rid of if you want. Any messages, such as backdoor, conservatory, which is what we've named it. You can name it something else. Was opened. And when it's online, when it's offline, various things like that. You've then got the backdoor information about this is the magnetic contact. This is the window and door contact that, if you've seen my review, I've talked about. It goes on your window or back door. It will tell you the temperature and if the window door has been opened. Now, as you can see at the moment, it is currently closed. It was triggered yesterday. It has been triggered today, but the home control hub was unplugged today. That's because I plugged something else in the socket and forgot to plug it in. Otherwise, it would give the time today, and if it's open at the moment, which it isn't anyway, the temperature in the conservatory at the moment, and the brightness as well. You then have kettle and status on. It's got a little warning symbol here because the device is offline. I've got that unplugged just a minute. I can plug it back in just a sec to show you. But anyway, this here says battery. Now the reason that is because this door sensor doesn't plug in like the other pieces, such as a smart metering plug. Now this kettle here is a smart metering plug, which if you've seen the review you'll know what this product is. That goes into the main wall socket, then you plug something, some sort of device into that, like your electric kettle or a lamp or whatever, and it will give you how much electricity it's using, and also you can have it come on and off. It'll turn power on and off to that device at certain times that you have scheduled. So we can click here, for example. And at the moment, we can't actually see much because I've had it unplugged for a couple of days, but you would actually see a graph here of power consumption. see consumption, and there'll be a graph, and as you can see, consumption in watts and the time. So this is quite useful because you'll see, like, say this kettle, say I'm mostly using it between 8 and 10, there'll be a big spike there, and you'll see how much it's using. Then across here, there might be another spike. So you can sort of see what time of day it's being used a lot and how much it's using, which it can be very useful if you want to monitor how much you're spending on electricity or on what's using the most electric in your house, especially if you've got more than one of these metering plugs. Now we can go to edit. We can give it a name. So in this case, I had the electric kettle plugged into it. So I've just named it kettle, and I've put the location as kitchen. We have a drop down here, and we can add other locations. You can add the widget to that home screen, the one with the weather, and you can select a icon here. And LED, you can turn the LEDs off on it if you don't want the red LED on the device. You can always turn it off, which is a nice little touch. Some devices have LEDs and there's no way to turn them off. With this you can, okay? And there's some other settings here for switching, local switching function, remote switching function, reset the statistics for it there, which is quite useful. Now let's hit cancel a minute on edit. Now this is the backdoor contact, or you could also use it as a window contact, but as you can see, I've got it set on the door. Brightness, if it's closed or open, how much battery's left, and you've got statistics there as well. And the statistics will be various different things. As you can see here, the day before, we have a green statistic here for temperature. See, there's the key. It says green is temperature. There it is there. As you can see, it was about 14.5 Celsius there. Then it dived down about... then it went... and here we go. Went right up to 19 Celsius there. And you can see the various dips. Then you have brightness for how much light's in the room. You can see about 4% brightness there. And it spiked right up to 43% brightness at somewhere between 1200 and 1500 hours there. As you can see, actually, you can see the time on the little pop-up. It actually does say 1400 on the 12th of April, and it was 43. So you can get a lot of useful statistics here. Plus open and closed. When it was opened, it was open for some reason for a long time there, a huge amount of time. Then it was closed for a short time, open for a little bit of time, closed, open, closed. It gets open and closed a lot. The reason for that is the door to the back garden, and the dogs like to go in and out, especially in this nice weather, spring weather we've been having lately. It's been really hot weather, nice sunny days, and so sometimes we actually don't leave it open, although you can see it's left open quite a bit there, but we close it then to keep some of the noise of TV and stuff out, especially since we've got a neighbour who's quite a moaner. And so it gets opened and closed a lot, as you can see, and you can see sort of when it's been open, when it's been closed. That could be quite useful. Plus, if you have the siren for this, you could set it up to trigger the siren as well if you're out on holiday, whatever, and for some reason the door is opened when it shouldn't be. You could set it up to trigger the alarm, the siren that you can get with this. I haven't got the siren, by the way, so I haven't used it. I'm just going by what I've read and seen. Okay, so let's go back to dashboard. You have your weather widget, and you say Isleworth, which is in London, UK. Today, 13 at the moment. A drop of 2. You got various other statistics there for tomorrow, day after as well. Then we can go here and we can remove some of these widgets if we want as well, or we can hit plus and actually add another page and select various widgets down here, such as sensors, smoke detectors, email to yourself when something happens, like get an email when a door is opened, various things. There's lots there. Let's go back. Now we can go to devices. That is what I've just shown you, and we can add a device. So from here we can add a window door contact. That is what that let me show you. That is what that is. Back door is a window/door contact. You can also add a humidity sensor. I don't have one of those. You can add the key fob switch. I don't have one of those. a motion sensor, which is similar, and you could probably, I think, use that in conjunction with the alarm, the siren. So if there's motion in your home when you're away, it will trigger the siren. At least that's my understanding. I haven't used either of these, bear in mind. I have only used the door contact and the actual smart home hub and metering plug is all I've used so far. I do actually have the radiator thermostat, but I haven't actually finished testing it, and I haven't actually made a review of that yet. Just bear in mind, if you have watched my review for the smart home starter kit, that I will have a review for this one coming up, but I can't guarantee about the others. Anyway, you can add a room thermostat from here, the alarm slash siren, a smart metering plug, which is what this one here is. This is a smart metering plug. A smoke detector, which could be quite handy. A wall switch, which can be, you can change it. It can be a 1 switch or 2 switch, depending upon what you want. And that can be just things like turn all the smart metering stuff off in one go or back on, things like that. I don't think it's a huge use. It's probably not something I'll get myself. And then there's a water sensor, which will help detect any flooding in your home, which could be very, very useful. You can also go to other devices, and you have a HTTP device, and I don't know what's really compatible with that. Z-Wave is a type of wireless technology, and there may be products compatible with Z-Wave that is compatible with this, in which case you do it from here. But the thing you're going to most likely use, if anything, from under other is Philips Hue. And Philips Hue are LED smart light bulbs. And they can be white, just like, regular LED light bulbs, or they can be multicolored. They're often dimmable. They're very useful. I think that is a really handy addition to this starter kit, this Devolo Smart Home Starter Kit, because they don't do light bulbs themselves, but you can always add Philips Hue, which is, I think, a really handy addition. Groups, you can do some grouping there. As you can see, it'll let you know to start. Click here. Let's just close that. Choose a self-explanatory name. Choose a device type. Right, let's get rid of this. It's just in the way. Smart metering plug. And you can group several together. You can group several types of radiator thermostat and room thermostats, things like that together. Let's just hit X. I don't really use that myself. But scheduling can be useful for some things. Now, what might you want scheduling for? Well, let's close that. You add one here. I'm going to delete that. Now, this is a couple of good examples. Now, I use the smart metering plug for a kettle, and there are certain days and times I might want it on, ready, before I get up and go to work or whatever like that. Now, these dates have changed, which is why I've turned them off for now, but I will alter them actually. Now, what you can do, so you have a kettle plugged into metering plug, you can, before you go to bed, fill it up, put all the coffee in it and get the pot all ready to go. Then have it scheduled to go off. Say you have it scheduled to go off at midnight or 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whenever the last time you'd be wanting to use the kettle is. Have it go off so it's saving electricity. Have the kettle all filled up with coffee, things like that, ready to go for the morning. Have this scheduled to come on when you got to get up. Now, say you're going to get up at 7 a.m. Maybe have this set to turn the kettle on about 5 to 7. Then you'll come down and the machine should have turned itself on then and made your coffee, brewed your coffee, ready to go when you get up. When you wake up, it's all brewed and ready to go. And that is how I've been using this. There's other uses like with lights, lamps maybe, or various other devices where you would schedule it, have it off, have it turned off when you know you don't want to use it, saves electricity for a few hours, comes on when you know you're going to want it again. You can schedule it, let's say, schedule it for various days, so it isn't just like this same thing every day. You can customize this to depend upon what days. You can have it all 7 days, do the exact same thing. So say from about 8 in the morning to 9 o'clock, on, off, every single day. But if you want to just have that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, say, at 8 till 9, but that maybe say you're getting up a bit later on Saturday and Sunday, you can make a new rule that on Saturday and Sunday only, it'll come on at say 9 or 10 or whatever instead. So it's really, really quite powerful, this scheduling here. and there's various things there to help you, widgets and that never end, so you can schedule it to start on a certain date and end on a certain date as well. You're probably not going to want to do that much, but it's a very, very powerful. I find it very handy, at least with a kettle, the scheduling feature. Let's close out of that. You can then set up a scene. I'm not going to go too much at that. I just want you to know that you can set up what they call scenes. I've never actually ever used that, and I don't think you will. Basically, I think between groups and scheduling, you're good to go. Then you got notifications. So email to yourself and your email address, or SMS message when certain criteria happens. So, for example, I have it set up here that if the battery is low in any of the smart home devices that use a battery, such as the door contact, I have it set to email me. Now, if we scroll down, as well as email, we can also have a text message sent to our mobile. Or if we don't want a email, we just want a text message, or vice versa, we can tick which ones we want there as well. That is really, really handy. Okay, so let's have a quick look at example of rules here. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth because this is just a basic little thing. So let's go here. Now we can have things like if kettle power on, if kettle power on, then you can do equals, or less than, greater than. So if something like power, if kettle power greater than, I don't know, 1,000 watts. I'm just trying to think of an example here. Then you could email yourself saying, well, whatever this device is. Now, a kettle is probably the wrong example here, but say if the computer, your PC or whatever, is using more than something of whatever watts, send an email or text to you in case there's a problem or you've left it on overnight or something like that. You might be able to get an idea. So there's various rules you can set up here, and it's quite powerful. You got equals, more than, less than, power, and that's just for the kettle with a period, within so many hours. It's just very, very, very flexible, and you can also do and or. So you could have if kettle or kettle 2, or and if kettle and microwave or something equals whatever, do this. I think you can see what I mean. Hopefully I'm explaining that well enough. So it is very flexible. In fact, this whole system here is very flexible. You can do very powerful scheduling and notifications and rules, and set up your device to turn on and off at certain times. It's just so powerful. It is really, really, really powerful, and that is really just with the smart metering plug and one backdoor sensor. With just with just one smart metering plug, you can actually do a lot, like scheduling a kettle to come on and off for when you go to work and things like that. When you get up in the morning. So it's actually, just that one thing is very useful. Imagine if you have other things here, like a motion sensor with a siren and other door contacts. You could set up basically a home intruder system where if a door is open where you're on vacation, or the motion sensor's triggered, it will send the alarm off, and it will email people, and it will text you. And it's just such a flexible system here. Plus, for on the go, they do provide a app for you. So if you're not really where you can go onto a computer, open a web browser and type an address and get to it, and you're not at home, you can always have it on your app and just quickly hit the app open using your mobile data and stuff like that, and check things, or even edit things. So it's really, really flexible, especially between this and the mobile app. There's also a lightweight version. Yeah, so there's also a light version of this as well. There's frequently asked questions. My Devolo, which just goes back to that main screen I showed you, where you can select different smart homes, things like that. If you've got more than one, like the demo and the home, you got setting. Now, if you go to settings, you'll get your serial number of the product. You'll also be able to put in your address and details. You'll also be able to do sharing, which means you can, if you want more than one person to be able to access this interface. and check your home settings. Say like you're married and you want your wife or whatever to have access to this as well. You can set up sharing. And that's about it, because this has just been a quick little overview, more than a tutorial. It's been more of an overview, really, of the My Devlio home control interface for your smart home system by Devlio. Please check out my review to actually see the physical product and know a little bit more about it. Thanks for watching.